Hello students, welcome to networking lab class. This is for 4th semester IT students. On today class I will be discuss about scaling of network and forward of traffic. So let's start with study of scaling of network. So before going to discuss about scaling, first we will be learn about what is scalability. So what is that scalability? In IT, scalability should be pronounced or spelled as scale and ability, and it has two uses. Okay. So point number 1 and point number 2 is there. So point 1 is the first point is the ability of a computer application or product, means that is related to your hardware or software, which continue to function well when it is changed in size or volume in order to meet a user need. Typically, the rescaling is to a large size or volume. The rescaling can be of the product itself. For example, a line of computer system of different sizes in terms of storage related to RAM and so forth, or in the scalable objects movement to a new context, for example a new operating system. Okay, so for this what examples there? During the printing, scalable fonts are fonts that can be resized. Okay, so when the font is resized during the printing case, that is what you may small the size or you may increase the size. That is called smaller of font size and larger of font size, which is related to resize of your font using software without losing the quality. Okay, then second option is it is the ability not only to function well in the rescale situation but to actually take full advantage of it. For example, an application program would be scalable if it could be moved from a smaller to a larger operating system and take full advantage of the larger operating system in terms of its performance and the larger number of users that could be handled. Okay, so here the 2 points are there related to your scale and ability. Okay, it is usually easier to have a scalability upwards rather than downwards, since developers often must make full use of a system resources. Okay, for example, that amount of disk storage availability when an application is initially coded, and scaling a product downward may mean trying to achieve the same result in a more constant environment. Scalability is the measure of a system ability to increase or decrease in performance. Okay, so from this you got the idea. Scalability means what? The system ability to measure the system ability to increase or decrease its performance and cost in response to changes in application and system processing demands. And examples would include how well a hardware system performs when the number of users is increased, how well a database withstands growing number of queries, or how well an operating system performs on different classes of hardware. Enterprises that are growing rapidly should pay special attention to the scalability when evaluating hardware and software. The measures. Scalability can be measured in various dimensions. Okay, what are there? The administrative, the functional, geographical, load scalability, and general scalability. Okay, so what is that administrative scalability? The ability for an increasing number of organization or user to easily share a single distributed system. And functionality, the ability to enhance the system by adding new functionality at minimal effort. Then third one is your geographic scalability. The ability to maintain performance, usefulness or usability regardless of expansion from concentration in a local area to a more distributed geographical pattern. Next is your load scalability. The ability for a distributed system to easily expand and contract its resource pool to accommodate heavier or lighter loads or number of inputs. Alternatively, the ease with which a system or component can be modified, added or removed to accommodate changing load. And the last one is your generation scalability, and it refers to the ability of a system to scale up by using new generation of components. Okay, so here as per this generation scalability, the new generation of component should be scale up. Thereby heterogeneous scalability is the ability to use the components from different vendors. Okay, so for example, just like a routing protocol is considered scalable with respect to the network size if the size of the necessary routing table on each node grow as output log n. Okay, where n is the number of nodes of network. Okay, and the scalable online transaction processing system or database management system is one that can be upgraded to process more transactions by adding new processor devices and storage, and which can be upgraded easily and transparently without shutting it down. And the distributed nature of the domain name system allows it to work efficiently even when all the ports on the worldwide internet are served, so it is said to be scale well. Okay, then go for the network traffic. Okay, so before going to discuss about forward of traffic, first we will be discuss about what is that network traffic. Network traffic is the amount of data moving across a computer network at any given time, and network traffic also called as data traffic also. Okay, remember it. Network traffic means what? Network traffic is the amount of data moving across a computer network. Okay, so when the data is moving in between your computer network, that is nothing but called your network traffic, and it is also called as data traffic. Okay, it is broken down into data packets and sent over a network before being reassembled by the receiving device or computer. Traffic is also related to security because an unusually high amount of traffic would be the sign of an attack. Okay, so here we got the idea that traffic is one type of way, or it's a network, computer network, where we are moving the data or packet from one place to another place. Now what is the data packets? When data travels over a network or over the internet, it must first be broken down into small batches so that larger file can be transmitted efficiently. Okay, so when the large file is to be transmitted from one place to another place, it should be break down, or it should be partly divided with a small data packet. Okay, the network breaks down, organizes and bundles the data into data packets so that they can be sent reliably through the network and then opened and read by another user in the network. Each packet takes the best route possible to spread network traffic evenly. Okay, so that means you are passing the packet, the long file can be divided into small packet so that the data can be easily transferred from one place to another place with the help of your traffic. The forwarding referred to the router local action to transferring the packet from an input link interface to the appropriate output link interface. And routing refers to the network wide process that determines end-to-end path that packets take the source to the destination. Okay, so here we got the idea about your network traffic. Okay, after that we will discuss about the port forwarding. So when the data is passed from one place to another place with the help of your computer network or the traffic, okay, so you will need the packets also that is related to your data. So for that some port forwarding or forwarding option is necessary. Okay, so what is that port forwarding? In computer networking, port forwarding or port mapping is an application of network address translation, okay, NAT, that redirects a communication request from one address and port number combination to another while the packets are traversing a network gateway such as a router or firewall. Port forwarding or tunneling is the behind the scenes process of intercepting data traffic headed for a computer IP port combination and redirecting it to a different IP and a or a port. A program that is running on the destination computer or host usually causes the redirection, but sometimes it can also be an intermediate hardware component such as router, proxy server or firewall. Okay. So how the forward ports on your router? So how we should forward the ports on the router? Okay. So for that you have to set up the port forwarding. So how to set up the port forwarding? The traffic that passes through a router does so through the ports. Okay, that means the traffic that passes through your router does so through your ports. So every port is like a special pipe made for a specific kind of traffic. Okay, that pipe is nothing but one type of tunnel. When we open a port on a router, it allows a particular data type to move through the router. The act of opening a port and choosing a device on the network to forward those requests to is called your port forwarding. Okay, that means what? Port forwarding means what? The act of opening a port and choosing a device on the network to forward those requests is called port forwarding. Port forwarding is like attaching a pipe from the router to the device that needs to use the port. There is a direct line of sight between the two that allows data flow. For example, FTP servers listen for incoming connection on port 21. If you have a FTP server set up that nobody outside your network can connect to, open port number 21 on the router and forward it to the computer you use as the server. When you do this, that new dedicated pipe moves from the server through the router and out of the network to the FTP client that communicating with it. Every networking application needs a port to run. So if a program or application is not working when everything else is set up correctly, open the port on the router and forward the request to the right device. Okay. For example, a computer, printer, game consoles, it should be forwarded. And port range forwarding is similar to port forwarding, but it is used to forward an entire range of ports. Give the device a static IP address. The device that will benefit from the port forward need to have a static IP address. This way we do not have to change the port forwarding setting each time it obtained a new IP address. For example, if your computer runs torrenting software, assign a static IP address to the computer. If you are having the gaming console uses a specific range of ports, it needs a static IP address. Okay, so there are two ways to do this, from the router and from the computer. When you set up a static IP address for your computer, it is easy to do it there. Now this is the procedure. See. Okay, so first use your computer to set up a static IP address. To set up a Windows computer to use a static IP address, first identify which IP address it is using currently. Okay, so how to check? How to check your own static IP? Go for your command prompt. Inside that command prompt, now see, go for your command prompt where you are able to check your static IP. Otherwise, already you got the idea about your IP config, all is there, along with if you are going for the network sharing center, where also we are getting the IP. Okay, so now we are moving to command prompt. You have to write the CMD. Now the command prompt will be displayed where you have to write ipconfig/all. Okay, now it is display you the IP address, the MAC address. Okay, just like IPv4 address, subnet mask, default and DNS server. Okay, here this one is your 192.168.7.23 is your IP address. Okay, and subnet mask is there, default gateway is there, and your DNS server address is there. Okay, now we can use that information to set up the static IP. So here you got the information about your static IP. Okay, now go for where? Go for your running the Windows run option. Open the run option by pressing your Windows key +R. Now here you have to write ncpa.cpl, then click on OK option. After that you will be getting this screen. Right click or tap and hold the connection that has the same name as the one you identify it command prompt. For example, Ethernet 0 is there. Okay, select the properties. Now you have selecting this one, then go for your TCP IP v4 means transmission control protocol, internet protocol, version number of 4 from list, then select the properties. Okay, so here you have to select, then click in properties, use the following IP is there. Now go for which one? Use the following IP address. Here you have to set the IP. Okay, so one is your automatic IP is there, here you have to set manually. Enter the detail you copied from the command prompt, that is your IP address, subnet mask, default gateway and DNS server. So in command prompt whatever the information you got, you have to write down here only. Okay, after this you have to click in OK. Okay, so one important thing is there, if you have several devices on your network that get IP address from DHCP, do not reserve the same IP address you found in command prompt. For example, if DHCP is set up to server address from a pool between 192.168.1.2 and 192.168.1.20 means from 2 to 20, configure the IP address to use a static IP address that fall outside that range to avoid address conflict. Okay, so for example, you may use 192.168.1.21 or above because your range is in between 2 to 20. Okay, and if you are not sure what this means, add 10 or 20 to the last digit in your IP address and use that as the static IP in Windows. Okay, the static IP is assigned. After that you have to go for where? Go for your router to set up a static IP. Okay, so another option to use the router to set up the static IP address. Do this when a non-computer device need a unchanging address like gaming console or printer. Okay, so this is your router in screen where you have to write down the username and your password. Okay, access the router as admin, then locate a, and you have to write the password also, admin and admin, the password is there. Okay, locate a client list, that is your DHCP reservation or similar section of the setting. The section lists the device currently connected to the router. Okay, see this one. The IP address of the device is listed along with its name. Okay, look for a way to reserve one of the IP address to tie it with that device so that the router always use it when the device requests an IP address. You might need to select the IP address from a list or choose the add and reserve. Okay, so here you have to set the DHCP setting. After that, set up the port forwarding. Okay, now that you know the device IP address and configure it to stop changing access to the router and set up the port forwarding setting. Okay, so log in to the router as admin and admin. Okay, here you have to log in. You need to know the router IP address, username and your password. Okay, after that, locate and forward the option. These are different for every router but might be called sometimes like port forwarding. Here the forwarding option is there. Okay, port triggering, application and gaming or port range forwarding. These might be built within other category of setting like network, wireless and advanced. Third option is your type the port number or port range that we want to forward. So you have to specify the range. If we are forwarding one port, type the same number under the both the internal and external box. Here the internal box is there and your external box is there. For port range, use the start and end box. Okay, forward is there, service port, internal port, IP address, then protocols. Now choose a protocol, either TCP or UDP. Okay, and choose both if needed. This information should be available from the program or game that explain the port number. Okay, type the static IP address you choose. So here the type address is there. Okay, now you have to save this one. Enable the port forwarding rule with an enable or on option. Okay, so here the status is enabled. Okay, now here an example of what it looks like to forward ports on a Linksys or WAT61 on. The Linksys Cisco option is there, where whatever the port you have forwarded, the list should be displayed here only. Some router have a port forward setup wizard that makes it easier to configure. For example, the router might first give you list of devices already using a static IP address and then let you choose the protocol and port number from there. Okay, so here are some other port forwarding instructions that are more specific to these brand of routers. Okay, different brands of routers are there. Maybe you are having the D-Link, Netgear, TP-Link, Belkin, Google or Linklix also. Okay.